Well,
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever this podcast may find you. And then there were two.
yeah.
Justin, where the fuck are you, dude? Where you be? Aren't you like the other half of Exhibition of Speed?
He's doing things and stuff.
He's doing truck things.
Yeah. Whatever that means.
Yeah, is that a circle jerk?
Yeah.
It's
gotta be.
With your other like bro truck buddies?
Yeah.
The funny thing is he doesn't listen to podcasts, so he won't hear this.
That's true. He doesn't.
He doesn't edit the podcast, and he doesn't listen to podcasts in general. So, hi, Justin.
Yeah. Take that, bitch.
Well, we had a fucking weekend.
Yeah, we did.
How was your Saturday? Because I didn't see you Saturday.
Yeah, my Saturday was good. Saturday morning, my wife and I went and played golf with some friends of ours
Where'd you play?
at McRiley.
Where is that?
It's in Murray.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, like Central Murray. That was a pretty fun course. Yeah, I never played there before. So we played there, and then we went home, kind of regrouped after that, and then we went and got our Costco card.
Nice.
Which-
It's a big move.
Yeah,
It's a good move.
like I've done the whole Costco thing before, but not in many years.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and she was always on the fence about it. She's like, this is BS. I don't want to have to pay to be a member at a grocery store.
I mean, that's fair, I guess. It's also not just a grocery store.
Yeah, and it took some time convincing, and then like right after we moved here, her roommate at the time had this bag of dried mangoes that can only be purchased at Costco,
Yeah.
and she loved them, and she's like, all right, we can get a Costco card.
Yeah, there you go.
And I'm like, all right, let's go spend all our money.
Yeah, Costco is a beautiful but also very dangerous place.
Yeah, absolutely. Only I was kind of upset. We went there and there was like, I only saw one station. We literally walked through the whole store. Only saw one station for samples.
What?
Yeah, I was pissed.
That's weird. Which one
That's
did you
half
go
the
to?
reason people even go to Costco. The one in Sandy right off the 15.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I was pissed.
Yeah, my go-to has been the one kind of like by 21st South-ish, like by the freeway there.
Oh, the one by the hospital?
The hospital.
Intermountain?
It's by, I guess if you're like 21st.
It's like by State Street?
Kind
it's
of.
on State Street?
It's not on. No, you're thinking about the one on like 5400 South.
Oh, yeah. You're
yeah,
right.
no, further up, like kind of closer to Best Buy or RC Willie, I
Oh,
guess.
yeah.
That one.
Gotcha.
So that's been our go-to for
Yeah.
a bunch of years.
We'll have to test out some different ones and see which ones we like the best. That one just worked out because it was closest to our house.
I mean, that makes sense, right?
Yeah, but yeah, we'll have to test the waters.
Test the Costco waters.
Yeah, see what we like the best.
Experiment.
Yeah. So yeah, we did that like the middle of the day, and then after that we had some friends over and just kind of like made some food and played some games and whatnot, and just kind of hung out and
Nice.
drank a lot.
That's always a good time.
Yeah, and then we were up till probably like 2:30 in the morning.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, and then I met you in East County at 9:30 the next day.
Yeah. And in East Canyon, we were doing a thing, but before I get into that thing, my Saturday consisted of my first modern Corvette experience.
Yeah.
Got to drive a base C7. It was a manual. It was, I mean, as basic as you can get. It wasn't the rental car. Hertz rental car. For the record, I did not pay $250 a day for a base model rental car. This was a friend of mine who also has a C2 Corvette. He's the original owner
Of the C2?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah, and he's put like 290,000
What
miles.
year?
66?
Wow.
67?
yeah.
Somewhere in the mid-late 60s.
One of my like childhood best friends, or he's still one of my best friends now, and like his parents are like essentially my parents.
Oh, cool.
I spent so much time with them. But he had a 67 Corvette that was his first car.
Oh, wow.
And it was butternut yellow.
Okay.
And then he had a 67 Camaro, same color.
Oh, that's cool.
Like both 67 Corvette and Camaro, matching color and everything. I mean, the Camaro came later in life, but the Corvette was cool because it was like his first car. And
That's
still
fucking
has
rad.
it.
That's fucking rad.
Yeah.
I mean, this isn't an original car that Calvin had. I mean, he's done a lot of things to it. It has different paint. The same color, I think, but it just got a respray.
Yeah.
It's this beautiful blue, like this metallic-y, like sky blue. It's convertible, by the way.
Wow. Yeah, his 67 was convertible as well.
Okay, cool.
And that thing was pretty original, with the exception of the interior. Over the years, you needed to have some reupholstery done, so I actually helped him redo all the upholstery work.
I mean, that happens.
Yeah.
With a 60-year-old car.
Which was funny because like I showed like major interest in all these cars, and my buddy, who is his son, like he liked the cars and stuff like that, but one, he didn't know how to drive a manual.
Okay.
All of those, so they had a that Corvette, they had the Camaro, and then they also at the time, I think it was like a 2008 or 2010 GT500.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a car.
Yeah. And they never trusted him to drive any of them, but they always let me drive them.
Oh, that's sick. How is that GT500?
Dude, that thing was crazy. So that was the first time, my first exposure to a hydraulic clutch.
Okay.
So, I mean, I drove it multiple times, but the first time I was like, this is fucking goofy.
Yeah.
Like, it was just such a different feel than what I was typically used to in a clutch.
Sure.
And then, so you had that, and then you would drive, and then you go to the 67 Camaro.
Vastly different experience.
It has no power steering and, none of that shit.
No power brakes.
Yeah.
Drum brakes, probably, still at that point.
Still did. Yeah.
That's great.
And both of those were, full show cars. Like, he still has the Corvette, but he sold the Camaro.
Okay.
And
Corvette's a special car.
Yeah. I kind of was surprised that he sold the Camaro, though. They didn't drive it much, but it was just kind of cool to have the Corvette, the Camaro, same color, same year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they were both showroom, Barrett Jackson,
wow.
clean.
Like museum pieces, kind of.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so he sold that Camaro for $54,000 because it only had I don't even less than 2,000 miles on it.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
When did they sell it? What era? Do you know?
Oh, they sold it. When did they sell it? 2012.
Okay, so that's probably actually a really good time to sell that. They probably get similar money, maybe a little bit more now, but they didn't lose that much, I don't think.
Yeah. And then they also sold the GT500.
Okay. I feel like those are going to go up in price.
Yeah.
I see that happening in the next probably 5 years.
Yeah. They've gotten to the point now in their life where, if they wanted to buy that again, they could.
Sure. Must be nice.
Yeah. Yeah. They've done really well they worked their ass. I've watched them work their ass off to get where they are, but
sure.
It's paid off finally, but
sure.
Yeah. Totally derailed that conversation.
No, you're good.
Continue your comments about this.
The Corvette.
C7,
yeah. I mean, it didn't quite have the long nose. I didn't feel like the nose felt as long on the C7 as it did on the C3.
Yeah.
I've only driven 2 Corvettes, by the way, for listeners at home. I drove a 78 T-top black on beigey brown interior. But this new one had 2,000 or 2,500 miles on it. Brand new. Calvin just bought it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's the very last of the C7s, which might have its own merit down the road as far as values go later. Who knows? White car, black interior, 7-speed manual.
It was a white and black. It wasn't all white, was it?
The outside?
Yeah.
Didn't
it have black down the middle of the hood or something?
Yeah, so kind of similar.
Through the center of the hood scoop area?
It definitely did, and that was a vinyl.
Oh, it was? Okay.
That wasn't
paint. It looked good, regardless.
Yeah, it looked great. He wished for it to be more of a gloss.
Oh, it's kind of matte?
It's a little more matte. The car has ceramic coat on it, so that helps.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's vinyl, and the wheels were white car, black wheels, a couple of black accents on it. it worked really well.
Looks good.
Drove it up Big Cottonwood.
Stormtroopered out.
A little bit, yeah. And drove it up Big Cottonwood for a photo shoot. Calvin wanted some photos of his C7 and his C2 next to each other, and it had just snowed like the night before, up way high, so it looked really beautiful up there. It was pretty amazing.
So is his C2? Sorry, I think you might have already said it, but what color is it?
It was blue.
Blue. Okay, that's right. Yeah, you said that.
Yeah, it was kind of a tinge darker than a baby blue, but it was metallic.
Because what would have been cool is if it had just snowed lightly, and he had the C7 that was like essentially white on black, and then he had a C2 that was like black with like white interior and like the white walled wheels and shit.
What's funny is there was a red C7 that drove by and like flipped around and like parked next to us.
Oh, really?
So we had red, white, and blue.
Oh, okay, that's pretty badass. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And obviously got photos of that.
It would have been cool if it was like one of the middle generations. So it's
yeah,
like
right, like a C5 or some shit.
Yeah. But I mean, whatever.
We could make that work probably. I could probably find a red C5 locally. But yeah, that was a really interesting experience. It had the rev matching, and the way you activate the rev matching is actually probably from the outside it looks kind of lazy on behalf of GM because they took the same paddles that you would for the automatic.
Okay. And
it's the same steering wheel and paddle setup. But instead of saying like a plus and a minus per paddle, it just says rev match.
So you use the pedals to rev match.
You use the paddles.
I mean, not pedals, paddles to rev match instead of shift?
No. Well, yes. You pull the paddle to activate the ability to do the auto rev matching, the auto blip.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So you could be driving just normally, whatever, not really caring if you're heel towing.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, we're getting up into a canyon now. Let's activate the automatic rev match. And then you just pull a paddle, and then it's just like, okay, it's on.
Which is, I feel like that's not a terrible thing.
It's not. It's not.
Because, like, if you look at it, there's not very many people out there that know how to heel toe. It's kind of a thing that you kind of have to learn.
Driving a manual alone is a dying art.
True. But then, also learning how to heel toe is also, another thing that's beyond, driving a manual. It's a whole other art that it's, kind of, it takes some time to perfect.
It's a very complex layer to learn. It.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it took me a long fucking time to learn how to do that.
It took me daily driving a stick. And I had to really learn, at first, kind of dive bobbing corners. Yeah. To be able to get my foot into the brake enough to be able to reach my foot around to blip the throttle.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's another thing, too, is almost all pedals are offset a little bit. So you have to be pressing hard enough on the brake in order to even, effectively reach the throttle enough to engage that rev match.
And my issue with the Fiesta ST is that the brake pedal is A, too high up, and B, too stiff for me to put enough to not even just pressure, but to get the pedals within reaching range.
So is it the brakes are touchy? So you just a slight touch is
they're not touchy
them a lot more than.
No, it's not that. It's just the pedal itself is hard.
Oh, okay.
It's a hard pedal.
Okay.
But the brakes are really strong and they're super, they're super strong and they bite really well. And going through a canyon, you really do appreciate.
Yeah.
Having a lot of brakes. If
absolutely.
Dive bombing corners at triples.
Yeah.
Not that I would know anything about that.
Yeah.
But, so back to the Corvette, though. 460 horsepower, 6.2 V8. Right. It had the tops could come off, but we just kept them on the entire time. Second gear
top.
So
is that a T-top?
It's not a T-top, but it's a removable roof. So,
okay.
So it's kind of like a Targa, actually.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, wait, they did a T-top version? I was dope.
That would be sick. They should honestly bring that back, but I don't see them actually doing that.
God, that'd be so sick. Even if they did just a limited run. It's a tribute.
I could see them doing what if they did
or they did a traditional tribute split window.
Oh.
But modern.
What if they did that with the C8, like a mid-engine split window over the engine?
I don't know if I would support that.
That would be fucking weird. That'd be wonky.
If they were gonna do that, they would have had to have done it with the C7, or one of the more recent generations. I don't feel like the C8 could
So-
achieve that same kind of awe effect.
There's a
and,
thing
like,
called a dollar.
appreciation
Oh yeah.
that the C8 would if they were to do like a split window or T-top C8.
There's
The T-top maybe, but
Well, there's a thing called called dollar cars for SEMA, where manufacturers give out cars for the cost of $1 to these aftermarket companies to build cars for SEMA.
Yeah.
So like the guess what? This year is going to be the year of the Supra dollar car. But that would be interesting to see a dollar car at SEMA that has like some like weird like Targa, not Targa, but like a T-top or a split window or some like weird like heritage theme to it. But what I was going to talk about was second gear. At the top of second gear is 82 miles an hour.
really,
This for a 7-speed.
C7?
Yeah.
Wow.
For a 7-speed,
Holy
this car,
shit.
the gears have fucking legs. I didn't get like we actually didn't do any freeway driving at all because he lived quite close to the mouth of Big Cottonwood, and then we just drove at Big Cottonwood and drove back. I mean, the car got into the triples.
Okay.
All you need to get into 100 miles an hour is shift into fourth. Or sorry, third.
Yeah, I was like, wait, what? That means third is like super short.
No. Yeah, just shift into third and you're doing 100 miles an hour.
Damn.
Yeah, but I mean, it makes a good noise, obviously. It's a solid car. What was funny was because when we would catch traffic, I would hold back and punch it. And doing that just in second gear, you feel the weight like shift to the back and you feel the back like hunch down.
Like, and then
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, and that's actually a way that I could tell that it was a base car and didn't have the Z51 package and
Yeah.
it wasn't a Z06 because if the car was any stiffer, it wouldn't have done that.
Right.
At least to the extent that it did. It was fun. It was entertaining. I kind of wish I had that car for longer, but I was super proud and that I was able to finally drive one right as the C7 is coming to an end.
Yeah.
I finally got to drive one. But yeah, and I'm really looking forward to hopefully having the chance to drive a C8. But so that was Saturday.
Real quick before you finish that thought,
Yes.
I was gonna finish my thought real quick on the
yeah.
rev matching.
Yes.
So, we talked about how like rev matching and like heel towing is like kind of a harder thing to perfect if you're just kind of like a typical person that doesn't really, they just want a nice car and whatever.
A non-enthusiast or not
yeah.
like a canyon carving or a racing enthusiast.
Yeah, anything like that. The rev matching option I feel like is good because the typical owner I feel like of a Corvette is your typical dad with those white Nikes or whatever.
The jorts.
Yeah.
The jean shorts.
Which, not hating on them, but I'm just saying like those guys typically aren't like the ones that are just like trying to crush canyons typically, you know?
No, absolutely. I mean, they are doing 5 under in the left lane.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So in that aspect, I see the benefit of rev matching
And I would say
for sure.
of the cars that I've driven that have like the rev match technology
Yeah.
and a manual gearbox, I would say BMW is probably at the top. When I drove the M2, it was exact to the RPM that I needed. Go BMW, then Porsche underneath it.
Really?
It was just a few hundred RPM off. Just a couple hundred RPM off. It wasn't exact. And then I put Corvette on. Well, actually, Nissan fucking killed it with the 370Z when it came out.
Really?
Uh-huh. It was pretty accurate.
I haven't driven one of the 370s with that.
I mean, if you drive a manual 370, I think they all have them.
Okay, then if that's the
Because
case,
it's called
or
S
no,
mode.
Well, yeah. So my bad. I haven't drove a 370, 350.
Okay.
I drove one of the last generations of the 350. So
I haven't driven a 350.
I mean, I haven't driven 370, so I don't know how they compare as far as like personal experience.
Sure, and I don't have any personal anecdotes to compare the two. My understanding is that the 370 is a pig and it is heavier, and yeah. But I mean, the one that I drove had a supercharger on it, the Pro Charger from Stillen.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It had the Stillen kit. I don't think it was the full 500, although the owner of the car kind of insisted that it was. But the chassis actually handled the added power very, very well. It was a very nice handling vehicle for sure, with the extra 100 horse or so that it had. But so Sunday,
Yes, we can move on to that. Sorry.
Moving on to Sunday, we were filming a GT3.
Yep.
And Jordan got to ride in the GT3.
Yep.
How'd you like it?
I mean, it was all right.
Oh, fuck you. All right. Ever since we drove the 718, I'm like, I got to get Jordan in a fucking 6-cylinder Porsche of some kind.
Yeah,
the sound of that thing.
Yeah, the sound of that, the feel of that was... I mean, well, when we drove the 718, I was just like, damn, this is the shit. Like,
it was quick. It had torque.
Yeah. Well, like, I wasn't so, like, amazed by, like, the amount of power, but just the overall, like, driving experience.
Yeah.
Was great.
And Porsche knows how to make a mid-engine car.
Yeah. And so the overall driving experience for that car, I was highly pleased with.
Yeah.
But then riding in that car was literally a whole nother world.
Yeah.
Like, I was just like, every time he would, like, punch it, I was just, like, slammed in the back of the seat. Especially when he did launch. I was just like, okay.
Oh, yeah.
So, how much do I have to go into debt to obtain one of these?
Well, this is I was actually thinking about a challenge for the Friday episode.
Yeah.
The 2015 or so, like the 0.1 GT3s are around 120 right now.
Yeah, because that's what we were with, was a 2015.
Yeah, we had a 2015, white on black with red contrast stitching. I do like that spec. I don't know if I would buy a white one.
Well, he even said that had he spec'd it himself, he wouldn't have done that either.
Yeah.
He wants it in blaze orange.
Oof.
Or volcano
orange.
The
volcano orange or whatever it is from Porsche, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be really pretty, wouldn't it? He should wrap it.
Well, and he has intentions to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because I was like, dude, what would be sick is if you did it in that volcano orange, and then, because he was talking about how he really likes maybe doing like is it like the acid green or whatever they have?
Acid green is what you have on the accents, or we have acid green accents on the.
Is that the green that they call it though?
It is, yeah, on the 918 and on the e-hybrids.
Yeah, so the doing like acid green calipers, and I was like, that would look pretty dope. How about this though?
Yeah, I see where you're going with this.
How about you do your volcano orange car? But do like a anthracite gray caliper with volcano orange lettering that says Porsche.
Oh, that's actually not where I thought you would take it. That's interesting.
Where'd you think I was going with it?
Either
just color match,
acid green, like wrap around the car, or like do the volcano orange and the acid green text on the brakes, or acid green brakes. Yeah,
no, I was thinking something more subtle, like almost like a, not carbon fiber, but like carbon fiber-esque color, like that anthracite gray, like I was talking about.
Yeah.
And then just have that pop of color come from the lettering.
That'd be cool.
That matches the color of the car.
That'd be rad. There is,
but not black, because black,
you get lost in the black. Yeah. There is an acid green 918. That does exist.
Here?
No.
Okay.
I think it's in California.
Okay.
Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
But yeah, we drove the GT3, and you will have to tune in. By the time you're hearing this, you'll have to wait about 6 days, because Tuesday is when this goes live, and then the last Monday of the month is next week.
Yeah.
So stick around, stay tuned for that. But yeah,
that was awesome. The owner's great guy.
Yeah, shout out to Ray. Shout out to Smokers Point, which is his company. If you, for any of your vaping needs or tobacco needs.
Vaping or tobacco essentials. Wait, does he sell cigars?
I bet he would. I bet they do. Actually,
like actual cigars, not like Swishers.
I know what you mean. Yeah, like Cubans.
Like
probably. So actually, I stopped by today, and that's where I got this.
Where is he located?
3300 South and 285 East.
Okay, I roughly know where that's at.
Yeah, like 33rd South and just go east a little bit. It's in a little strip mall.
Okay.
Of other businesses.
I'll have to pop in there.
He wasn't there when I bought this. But.
That's fine, but like I'll still see if they have cigars. I wouldn't mind supporting that.
Yeah, for sure. And what's funny is the guys that were in there, like, definitely reminded me of Ray. Not by his race, but by the race in conjunction with the quiet awkwardness. It was just really funny. Just a funny little anecdote. But yeah, I mean, thoughts on the GT3? It's fast. It's loud. The PDK. How'd you like PDK compared to the 718? They're about comparable.
Well, yeah, like I kind of spoke about that a little bit when we were with the car, was because you asked me that same question, and I feel like they're comparable.
If you really drive a lot of Porsches, you could probably split hairs.
Yeah, you could probably split hairs, but but the 718, it being the 2-liter turbo,
yeah,
and then versus the 6-cylinder
3.8,
yeah, that we were in, it's they're two completely different engines. So, and there's a lot more power differentiation. Like a couple hundred horsepower difference.
Almost. Yeah, it's like 180 horsepower difference. But the 718 has torque.
True, it does have torque.
It probably has maybe 50 less torques.
Yeah, so I mean, it definitely has a little bit more torque.
And it has torque down low.
But the technology is obviously still there. So like, I just feel like it's literally the same thing. But I felt like the engaging of the transmission into new gears was a little bit rougher, just because. But I also feel like that's mostly because of the amount of of more power.
Oh, I can see that. Yeah.
Because like when he was like, when we did launch and we were like shifting gears, it's like you could literally hear the audible and feel and hear the audible like bang when it really engage in the. I'm like, is that normal? Like, that doesn't fucking sound good. But like, maybe
when you do a launch, there's a lot that's happening, and there's a lot.
Well, I understand that too, and like I've been in other vehicles that have done have launch controller and like have done launches in other vehicles before, but like I was just kind of comparing that to the 718.
Sure.
In retrospect, I guess, and like so, in that comparison, it was a lot more aggressive, I guess, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
But like I said, that's just because it also has a fair amount of horsepower.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. To watch our vlog on not the 718. Yes, on the 718, but also
go watch that video too.
Yeah, because that video got no love.
Yeah,
and it's our most expensive video.
I mean, I know I'm ugly, but fuck.
I mean, same. Mood. And also, MULA is coming up. I keep on talking about this, but I'm super fucking stoked. And speaking of Caymans, I'll actually be driving a 981 generation Cayman. I just snagged on Turo for the Northern Grand Tour. Yeah, I booked it.
For Grand Tour.
For Northern Grand Tour.
For MULA.
No. I didn't tell you. I'll tell you something off air.
Okay.
Some costs.
Listeners, you don't get to hear the
some costs might be diverted to something else much more interesting, but will still happen on the trip.
Yeah. You told me about. You messaged about it, but yeah, we can talk about that later.
Yeah. But yeah, where are we at even on this fucking recording?
30 seconds away from 30 minutes.
Oh, well, let's just end it on that bombshell then. Thank you all for listening. Happy Tuesday, everybody. And if you want to go check our shit, we're on YouTube, Exhibition of Speed. Facebook, we're Exhibition of Speed there. We're also on Instagram. And we have the GT3. I'm just being candid with everybody. As of this moment right now, on, the 23rd of September, we are doing the GT3 and then the last review of the year, or the last Utah review of the year, and then we're done for 2019, which feels weird to say, but we are having a season finale. So stick around for all of that. And we can't wait to hear from you next time. Ciao, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.